How do you get your kids to keep quiet? Or your colleagues to greenlight a project? Or prospects to agree to look at your proposal? So what I'm essentially asking is, how do you influence people? Get them to do what you want without being pushy or without annoying them. Keep watching. In this episode, I'm going to share with you six ways to influence people, to get them to do what you want without being pushy or annoying. When trying to influence people, there's a fundamental mistake I see people make through my coaching and through the masterclasses I deliver. So I'm going to share with you 6 ways you can influence people without annoying them. Now, the fundamental mistake can best be illustrated in this story. Now, when our nephew started their kung fu lessons, their favorite thing was running around the house, slapping and kicking each other. Now, this sounds cute, but when you hear it for hours and hours, jumping on the sofa, throwing pillows around, screaming, fighting, while the grown-ups is trying to sit there and watch TV and just chill out, it was driving us all insane. Now, them being kids, they did not listen to our pleas for silence. It was as though we were not in the room. It's like no one existed apart from those 2 karate kids. So us adults, we wanted to influence them. We wanted them to shut the f*** up. Now, remembering the dictum, get people to do what they want to do, I jumped up and I asked them, who wants to be a kung fu master? They froze mid-air, mid-kick, and they looked at me. They went, me. And I asked them, are you sure? Do you really want to be a kung fu master? And then they leapt up. They went, yes, me. I want to be a kung fu master. So I said to them, okay, come and sit down and I will share with you the secret to becoming a kung fu master. They sat on the sofa, eagerly awaiting for me to share the wisdom. And I asked them, have you heard of Bruce Lee? No, they said. And I told them, Bruce Lee is one of the world's most famous kung fu master. And he said, kung fu begins in the mind. You see, the secret to mastering kung fu is to master yourself. So, are you ready for the first lesson in becoming a kung fu master? They screeched in excitement. Yes, tell me. So I said, okay, here's the first lesson. The first one, to be still and silent and meditate for the longest, is the winner and will surely be on the path to kung fu mastery. They nodded their heads vigorously, they arranged themselves on the sofa, assuming the meditation position, scrunching their eyes shut, desperately hoping the kung fu gods would bring them these mastery skills, and they sat and started meditating in silence. And these 2 precious, aspiring kung fu masters sat in blissful silence for the next half hour. See, telling the kids to keep quiet serves my interest, but not theirs. Teaching them to be kung fu masters serves their interest and ours, and world peace. See, the biggest mistake I see people make through my coaching and through masterclasses is when they're trying to influence their colleagues, their potential clients, and so on, they're always thinking about things from their own perspective. And they try to build a case thinking about themselves. That's why they don't succeed. But to influence someone to do something, you really need to think from their perspective. First thing is, when you're trying to influence people, think less me and more them. A long time ago, when people used landlines, the New York phone company studied 500 conversations. And in those 500 conversations, they analyzed the most used word was, can you guess what it is? It was the word I. The word I was used nearly 4,000 times in 500 conversations. So study your communication when you speak. Be aware of how often you use the words like I, me, mine versus you, yours, your. That's a pretty good indicator whether you're communicating from your perspective or their perspective. One way we slip up and annoy people, which reduces our influence, is when the other person makes a mistake. So the takeaway is, when someone makes a mistake, don't be quick to be right. You're wrong, I'm right. Nuh-uh, you're wrong, wrong. You're wrong, wrong, wrong. You're wrong, wrong. See, telling someone they're wrong is a guaranteed way to get their back up, making it really difficult for you to influence them and to get their cooperation. Instead, try this. Now, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong, probably, but how about we examine the facts? Okay. Right. Oh, you know what? I thought you had to carry the 2 over from the other page. You're right, I was wrong. You know what? I'm pretty sure I was wrong. Please, I was definitely wrong, but thank you. You're too kind, but I was wrong all along. Oh, stop, please. I was definitely wrong. See, admitting that you might be wrong stops an argument, and it also makes the other person more open-minded to perhaps reflect and think that maybe they're wrong. And the same applies if you want to influence potential clients, when you want to point out they're making a mistake. If you first say they're wrong and they're making a mistake, they're more likely to get defensive and shut down. So when someone makes a mistake, don't be quick to be right. When people mess up, make their mistake easy to correct. If you tell anyone that they're bad at doing a certain thing, they have zero talent, they're doing it all wrong, you could potentially destroy their every incentive to get better or any confidence they might have to try and improve. Instead, be encouraging and make the thing seem easy to do and show them that you've got faith in their ability to do it. That's more likely to motivate them and influence them to continue. When I'm working with freelancers and coaching them to learn how to win new clients, many of them are anxious about it, fearful about it. A lot of people I work with, they're creatives. So I explain to them how this selling thing is kind of what you're already doing. You're, as a creative, you're curious and you deeply care about things. And when I share with them that those are the essence of selling, it's about deeply caring about people, it's about being deeply curious about people, it eases their anxiety about the activity. And then my clients let go of their resistance, they work harder to learn, and then they amaze themselves with their achievements. If you're about to give some constructive criticism, admitting your own mistakes first is a good way to ease into that conversation. Knowing that others are making the mistakes too makes hearing and accepting the advice easier. Always give people honest and authentic appreciation. And when you praise people, be specific. For example, you're a great listener. The question you ask about investments shows you understood and you listened. I mean, obviously the praise should be genuine. The only way to get people to do what you want is by making them want to do it. And people have this desire to be significant and to be appreciated. So always find ways to praise them so that they know they're making a positive contribution and how they're helping you. Now, this is not to be mistaken for giving people a gold star for showing up, but more like sharing what showing up means to you. Always consider the other person's feelings as important as yours. Now, this is easily a pivotal principle. It's foundation when trying to influence others. See, humans, we have this primal need to be understood, and the only way you can understand people is by truly listening to them. And when you do truly listen to other people, you're encouraging them to be more open-minded to listen to you. For example, if you're having a disagreement with your spouse, Well, I know in our case, for me and my wife, whenever there is a disagreement, commonly because for a moment one of us have failed to really think about the other person's perspective. But when we do, we back off, we back down from our position, and then it kind of diffuses the argument, and then we end up coming towards a solution. So always consider the other person's feelings as important as your own. So to successfully influence people, always think from their point of view. Sit on their side of the table, walk in their shoes, smell their socks, to build the case of why it's good. Not just for you, but for both of you. Over to you. So which one from this list will you pick and start practicing today? Can you tell me in the comments below? Any ahas you had? Share it, I'd love to know. Now there will be a part 2 of this video, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell to receive the notifications. You will get part 2 in the coming weeks. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it. That will be wonderful. And I will see you in another episode. Thanks for watching Coffee and Wisdom. I'm Annie Skizzlebash, and I'll see you soon.